Hello, and welcome to this guide on personal finance basics for new lawyers and for soon-to-be new lawyers. I'm Kate Ahern. I am a clinical professor of law at Roger Williams University School of Law, and I've also been mentoring both law students and newer lawyers for over a decade. In this guide, we're going to cover some personal finance basics so that you can walk away with a sense of how to take action. We're going to demystify some personal finance topics. We'll give you a sense of how to take action and move forward with that information. And I'll give you a variety of resources that'll help you to move forward. Now, a few things we need to talk about right away. In this intro, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me and my perspective, and then I'll tell you what we're going to cover in this guide so you know what to expect. So let's start with, I am not a financial expert. I am a lawyer and a law professor. I spent the first part of my career practicing in a large law firm. But I've taken a long time over the years and a lot of time to educate myself on personal finance topics. You can think of me as someone who was once in your shoes and has since figured all these issues out. And in fact, I've been giving personal finance presentations to young professionals for a very long time now. I've even given presentations with financial professionals. So I'm very familiar with these topics at this point, but again, I'm not an expert. I actually didn't grow up with a lot of access to financial education, and I want to bring that perspective because many of us are in that situation. So let's talk about why it matters so much to learn a little bit about personal finance basics, particularly as you start your practice as a lawyer. So first of all, you worked very hard to get to and get through law school. You may have loans to pay, and it would be really heartbreaking if you didn't get to reap the financial benefit of investing all that time and money. That's one. Second, many of us didn't come from families and backgrounds with money. So we didn't grow up knowing what financial health or financial best practices look like or how to manage money, right? For example, if you're first in your family to pursue an education, that was my situation, this may be an issue that you face, right? That was true for me. And in addition, lack of financial knowledge is yet another issue that disproportionately affects already marginalized groups. So if any of this is true for you, you may not know where to turn to figure all this out. I know what that feels like, and that's why I'm here, right? To empower you and give you a starting point. So that's not an issue for you. You can start off on the right foot from the first days of your career. And then third, many of us go to law school to empower ourselves to help others, right? And money is truly not the focus. So it's easy to let that go by the wayside a little bit, but do keep in mind that if you're not financially healthy, it limits your options. It affects everything from what jobs you can take to when you can leave a job, career transitions and taking time off, experimenting and starting your own practice and other businesses, what causes you give money to and support, and on and on. It really, when you are financially healthy, it really affects the decisions you make, and therefore it can be a big part of being empowered to help others. So still an issue, it's still something worth paying attention to for those of you who are money is not your focus. It is actually in line with your mission to help others. So finally, let's talk about what we'll cover here. We're going to keep it practical and efficient and give you the basic information that you'll need to take next steps and feel in control of your finances. So first, we're going to talk about financial goals and different perspectives on financial health so that you can start pondering your own view and the role that these issues play in your own financial journey. It's a key starting point to consider your own perspective. Next, we'll dig into key financial topics and share some best practices and financial wisdom. So for example, we'll talk about things like budgeting and emergency funds and debt like student loans and insurance history and savings and investing, right? We're going to touch on financial advisors. So we're going to touch on all of these topics so you have some basic information. And then from there, we'll give you resources to help you. I'll give you resources to help you move forward from there. And um, uh, again, I just want to remind you again, bear in mind, I'm not an expert, and my goal is not to give you all the answers. Instead, it's to do three things. So one, to give you a starting point when it comes to how you think about money and your financial goals. Two, to give you a sense of basic financial information and some financial best practices that financial experts typically agree on. And three, to give you some resources so that you can take the next step as you're ready, so that you can be empowered and in control when it comes to your finances. And with that path and mission in mind, let's dig in.